Quick question, and I want you to be honest with yourself when you answer this. When is the last time you actually explored what's out there outside of your career? And I'm not talking about just looking at LinkedIn and just kind of passively looking and then closing the app. I'm actually truly meaning going out there, having some conversation, tested the market, see what you're worth in the market, see who's attracted to your kind of profile, professionally speaking. If you can't remember, this episode is for you. I'm Elena. I'm a career coach, former recruiter, talent development professional, and I'm here to keep it real for you. No corporate fluff, but truly just really practical strategies and insight that you need to move your career forward. If this is your first time here, please hit subscribe, share this episode if you like it, comment, and I appreciate your support. Here's what's going on in the job market and why you should care about this. Now, I'm looking at the report, and job turnover in the US has hit a 9-year low. So basically, what that's saying is that people are staying put, nobody's really changing jobs, and they're really not exploring further outside of their career. They're just kind of saying, like, let's just hold on to the jobs that we have. In terms of numbers, I'm looking at the report now, and ADP reported that the rate of people leaving their jobs has dropped to a really low number. We haven't seen that since 2015, dropped about almost 6% in January alone. And then there was a survey recently, and they found that 64% of workers are saying, listen, not really looking for a job right now, just kind of staying put. 65% is essentially 2/3 of the overall labor market. There was another report in February that said that we lost 92,000 jobs, and then also a report saying that the hiring actually is down 56% compared to this time last year. The economists are calling this no hire, no fire kind of market. Frozen, completely stagnant, nothing is happening on either side. So the natural assumption would be, well, it's because they're probably satisfied with their jobs and that's why people are staying and that's great. Well, not so much. The data shows that they're actually terrified. And here's what I'm going to keep it real with you. As a career coach, I'm here to keep it real with you. And I want to tell you something that other people might not, but fear is not a strategy that I would recommend. I totally get it. Market feels scary. It's a lot of uncertainty. And our natural tendency as human beings is just to maintain our security and safety and stay in our little comfort zone and our little bubble so we can protect ourselves. I get it. But here's what actually happens when we all do this at the same time, when we all freeze. People who stay still, people who just want to stay in their comfort zone are the ones that really just kind of start becoming invisible. So they're not networking, they're not building relationships, they're not testing out the market, they're not updating their resumes, they're not learning new technologies, putting out there the value that they bring to a workplace. And what's happening with those people is that a lot of them are just kind of staying put. And because everybody essentially is doing that, you feel that you're in safe waters, but you are not. Because there's a whole lot of other people who are actually doing something about this. They are actually very active. And those are the small amount of people that actually will have all the opportunities when jobs are scarce, when opportunity is just hard to come by, right? And where they're the only ones that actually position themselves in the market, whether they're the best fit or not. But because they've done it strategically, putting themselves out there while everybody else is staying quiet and in their own zones and becoming invincible slowly, these individuals are actually standing out. And it's a lot easier to do that in this kind of situation because so many people are just not even out there trying. And let me tell you what I've learned over the years when I'm coaching hundreds of people at this point. People who are coming out with actual opportunities in the soft market are the ones that actually been strategic. It's not that they haven't been afraid. It's not that they haven't even paused for just a moment, but it's that they strategically kind of they're not just jumping for the sake of jumping. They're actually leveraging the things that are at their disposal, like networks, building skills, having conversations, making themselves known, building a personal brand, and all those things to actually come out of the soft market. Although there might not be so many jobs available at the moment, by the time they do become available, they've done all the pre-work to make sure that they're the top candidate. And even if you're not moving at the moment, what these people are doing is they're asking, what can I do to upskill myself in this quarter? How can I make myself more valuable? How can I have the more strategic conversation? Who do I need to have a conversation with? Who haven't I met? What haven't I tried? Have I tested the market? What's happening? What is the market signaling to me? How can I adjust that? What can I learn from this? These are the questions they're asking themselves on at least quarterly basis, if not monthly. Now, here's what I want you to do. You don't have to do this today, but I recommend you start this week. First step is I want you to reach out to at least one or two people in your network that you can have a conversation with around careers. It could be a former mentor, it could be a former colleague, it could be an existing colleague, it could be your current manager, your ex-manager, anybody in your network that you maybe haven't been in touch with in a while. Open up a conversation, reconnect, see what's going on, ask them what they've been up to, share what's you're kind of thinking. Maybe it's just as simple as, listen, I'm just having conversations, reconnecting. This is a good time to have some of these conversations, curious kind of what people are up to and so on. Keep it as simple as that. Number two, Look at the current job market, explore roles, see what's actually companies are hiring for, what roles are on the rise, what's going on in the market, what skills that they're asking for. Look at your role with the next level. Does it even exist? Is that something you have to look forward to, or do you need to think about a pivot, right? Look at what skills, certs, education, background that they might be looking for in these roles that are open right now. That's essentially your development roadmap. If you have a particular way you want to grow in your career, looking at what's out there, what companies are looking for, the job descriptions tell you exactly what is it that you need to be developing and putting together while it's a soft market and while you're waiting for things to pick up. Number three, the most important thing is if you're currently employed in a company, make sure you're actually visible. Make sure people know what value you bring. Volunteer for projects. When companies are hiring the freezing, they're actually looking for internal mobility and so on. Just because the hiring is frozen, it doesn't mean that more internally people are not moving. They might be rearranging people. They might be thinking about what's going on next and their projects coming up in the business strategy and so on. Position yourself in a way that you actually want to learn new skills, right? Volunteer for things, make time for things. And if that means a little bit outside of your 9 to 5, that's okay, because that is what it takes. That's what all those people who end up getting jobs coming out of the soft market do. They're actually making themselves available and prioritizing some of these development opportunities, conversations, and making themselves visible internally. If you remember, the great resignation was so loud. Do you remember when that was happening, when everybody was just resigning and it was just it was in your face, it was there. The great freeze is very quiet, and the quiet is dangerous. And it's dangerous because this is when people are actually slowing down. They feel like there's not enough opportunities. They feel like the hope is lost. They're not developing. They're not speaking up. They're not making themselves visible. They're essentially making themselves invisible. And that is hurting them because they stop building, they start being noticed, they stop their careers. And ultimately, they stop believing that career development is available to them. But it is. You just have to choose it, and you have to choose it. It's a choice, and you have to make it now. That's the confession. So drop me your comments below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe, share this episode with somebody who might find it useful, and reach out for a conversation. I'll read all the comments, and I would love to see what you guys think of this episode. Thank you.